Imagine being the soul of one of the most successful bands of all time, composing anthems that millions sing, being there, right at the center, and yet, feeling like you can't take it anymore, like the noise is consuming you. Christine McVie was that for Fleetwood Mac, the serene pianist, the voice that calms storms, but also a woman who suffered in silence, an artist who gave everything and never asked for anything. This is the story of a sensitive woman who never found refuge in fame. A life marked by music, calm, and a silent exhaustion that no one knew how to stop. Christine Ann Perfect was born in 1943 in the English countryside of Lancashire. Her father, Cyril, was a violinist and music teacher. Her mother, Beatrice, a school teacher. They weren't famous, nor rich. But in that house, there was something sacred. Sound. From the age of 4, Christine sat in front of the piano. At first, timidly, then with passion. Her father taught her classical scales, and she, silently, began to understand the language of the soul. By 11, she was already playing like someone much older. But she wasn't a prodigy. She was pure sensitivity. For years, she studied classical music. But one day, at a friend's house, she heard a record by Fats Domino. Then came Ray Charles. Then the blues of the 1950s. And at that moment, she knew her path wasn't in the conservatory. It was somewhere else. In that place where emotions aren't read in sheet music. They are felt. Christine left music for a time. She studied sculpture in Birmingham. She thought she wanted to be a visual artist. But the piano was calling her from afar. Like an old friend you can never forget. In 1967, she returned to playing professionally. She joined a band called Chicken Shack. British blues, smoky bars, modest recordings. But it only took one song for everything to change. I'd Rather Go Blind, a cover of Etta James. Christine sang it with an emotion that left the sound technicians frozen. A mix of pain, sweetness, and honesty that no academy could ever teach. It was her introduction to the world. That same year, she won the Melody Maker Award as Female Vocalist of the Year. She was no longer the timid keyboardist. She was a new force, a voice that hurt beautifully. She wasn't a star yet, but she already shined differently. In 1968, she met John McVie, the bassist of Fleetwood Mac. They got married, and with that, Christine entered the inner circle of a band still searching for its identity. At first, she collaborated as an album cover illustrator, but in 1970, after Peter Green's departure, she was invited to officially join the group. Christine said yes, not out of ambition, but because she felt the band needed her, and she needed to belong to something too. Fleetwood Mac was a broken band, in full transition, with roots in the blues, but no clear direction. Christine brought what no one else had: calm, melody, heart. From her first songs, Spare Me a Little or Dissatisfied, her style became evident. It wasn't grandiose, it was intimate. In 1975, 2 new members joined, Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham, and with them came a creative storm. Fleetwood Mac stopped being a cult band. It became a global phenomenon. Christine was at the center. She wrote, she played, she harmonized. She was the invisible glue between the egos. Songs like Over My Head or Say You Love Me defined the sound of this new era. Melodic pop, accessible yet profound. Christine didn't seek to shine. She sought to move hearts. While Stevie wrote with abstract poetry, Christine wrote with emotional clarity, like someone who had truly loved and had also lost. In 1977, they released Rumors, one of the best-selling albums of all time, but also one of the most painful. John and Christine were in the middle of a divorce. Stevie and Lindsey were at war. Mick Fleetwood was going through his own personal chaos. And yet, from all that, a masterpiece was born. Christine wrote, You Make Loving Fun, while secretly having a relationship with the band's lighting technician. A joyful song, almost childlike, but one that hid an internal liberation. She also composed Songbird, a ballad recorded alone in an empty theater, with just a piano and a single candle. She recorded it in one take, at 2 in the morning, after everyone had left. She asked for all the lights to be turned off, and for only one candle to be left next to the piano. That song wasn't a hit. It was a prayer, a whisper from someone finally speaking from the deepest part of themselves. While rumors broke records, Christine was also breaking inside. She had written songs about love, while going through a separation. She had smiled in interviews, while barely holding herself together emotionally. Fame came. The tours came too, but with them came exhaustion, the price of having to appear okay all the time. And Christine wasn't one to raise her voice. She suffered in silence. Unlike the scandals surrounding Nicks or Buckingham, hers was a quiet but constant battle. A fight to find peace amid the noise. People saw platinum records. She felt a nameless loneliness. Fleetwood Mac kept going. More albums, more stadiums, more pressure. Christine delivered, but with less and less enthusiasm. And backstage, after the shows, Christine stayed alone, with a glass of white wine, staring at the floor. In the 1980s, Christine recorded her second solo album. It was simply titled Christine McVie. It included songs like Got a Hold on Me and Love Will Show Us How. Radio hits, clear lyrics, warm melodies, but even on her own record, Christine didn't seek stardom. She sought authenticity. While other 80s artists embraced extravagance, she stayed true to her essence. A soft voice, an elegant production, a contained emotion. Many didn't understand it. They expected more glamour, more controversy, but Christine only wanted to make music, without masks. In 1987, Fleetwood Mac released Tango in the Night, another global success. And once again, Christine was at the creative center. She composed 2 anthems, Everywhere and Little Lies. The first was radiant, almost magical, a declaration of pure love. The second, a confession disguised as pop. Little Lies spoke of doubt, of secrets, of those phrases said to avoid hurting, but that hurt even more. Christine sang it with a gentle voice, but those who knew her knew it came from a real place. Because Christine, no matter how much success she had, still felt alone. In 1997, the band reunited to record The Dance, a historic concert, a celebration. Christine smiled on stage, sang all her classics. The crowd roared in ovation. But deep down, she had already made a decision. It was her goodbye. After the tour, she retired. No scandal, no dramatic statements. She went to live in the countryside of England. A simple house, gardens, fresh air, and silence. That place wasn't just a house. It was a refuge. Her corner to heal herself. To no longer have to pretend everything was fine. For over 15 years, Christine lived far from the spotlight. She didn't compose. She didn't give interviews. She simply dedicated herself to existing. As a woman, not as an icon. Her bandmates missed her. The fans did too. But no one wanted to pressure her. Because everyone knew Christine was not the type to be trapped by fame. In an interview years later, she said, "I needed to be me again. No tours, no makeup, just me." In that retreat, Christine rediscovered silence. She learned to cook, to walk without rushing, to read without thinking about songs. And even though many thought she was gone forever, she never stopped playing at home. When someone passed by her window, they could hear it. A soft piano, and a voice that still had things to say. In 2014, something changed. Christine, now 70 years old, asked to return. She called Mick Fleetwood, said she missed the stage, and he didn't hesitate. When she appeared at the first rehearsal, the emotion was overwhelming. Stevie Nicks cried. John McVie couldn't speak. They played together again. Like before. Like always. The tour was a success. But more than that, it was an emotional healing. Christine returned to sing Songbird, and the entire room fell silent. She wasn't an artist seeking fame. She was a woman who had found her place in the world again. Her piano, her voice, her band. On November 30th, 2022, Christine McVie passed away after a short illness. She was 79 years old. The news hit like a silent wave. No one expected it. No one was ready. Tributes poured in from everywhere, from her bandmates, from artists, from millions of fans. But what hurt the most was the void. Because Christine wasn't just a keyboardist, or just a songwriter. She was the serene soul of Fleetwood Mac. The one who united, the one who calmed, the one who never asked but always gave. Today, her legacy lives on. Every time Everywhere plays, someone smiles. Every time Songbird plays, someone cries. And in every note, a piece of Christine lives on. Her music wasn't scandalous, nor loud. It was honest, subtle, like her. Christine McVie was one of the greats without ever needing to boast. A woman who found in melody her refuge, and in music, her way of loving. And though her piano no longer plays, her voice still accompanies us, on roads, in nights, in silences. Because there are artists who shine, and others who illuminate. Christine McVie did both.